Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the 2A Brotherhood podcast. We're so grateful to have you guys back with us for another week. Right now, I just want to quickly introduce we have a special guest with us, Grandmaster Greg Clement. He is a shooter with Masterpiece Arms. Dude, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you had some things getting in the way of coming on the podcast, but thank you for taking the time out of your life to spend this Saturday evening with us. So, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, please do.
Of course, happy to be here. Yeah, I'm Greg, and I shoot pistols. So,
Hey, I love it.
Great life.
oh yeah,
So, we can switch. So I wanted to ask. So, what's kind of the thing that drew you into firearms and competition shooting? Well, start with firearms. Like, what excited you, or what got you into shooting first?
firearms themselves was definitely my father from a very young age. Uh, Part of that was just he was a gun nut himself, and then the other part was when my mother was pregnant with my brother, I couldn't be in the house. She was very sick. So my dad basically trained me and the bird dog simultaneously. So started going out hunting birds at like 3, basically. Except I had like a little toy flintlock I carried, not an actual gun at that point. But yeah, so that's how I got started on firearms a very long time ago. Purely hunting focused. I didn't pick up competitive shooting until college. Uh, Found a club at the time. Was a pistol action shooting club. It later turned into a varsity pistol team that competed in SASP and Steel Challenge. And yeah, I'm kind of an obsessive personality. So once that bug bit me, I was hooked. So pretty natural progression too when you're already a gun nut. So
Man. Yeah. And so, was that Masterpiece Arms? That was the group you joined that did or the club you joined that does the steel shooting?
no, that was at Hillsdale College. It was the Hillsdale Action
Oh,
Shooting Team. Or that's what it is now. It was the Hillsdale Action Shooting Team.
okay.
I went straight from the Hillsdale Action Shooting Team to Masterpiece Arms.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, so you left when you graduated college, and then you just joined this one
Yep.
afterward. Oh, okay, got you. All right. So, and what are these? What does this group kind of focus on? What is their central kind of? What's their main focus in Masterpiece?
They make so. Well, they first got into PRS. They're a huge name in precision rifle shooting, and I know their guns are used by a ton of people in PRS. Although I can't speak too much to that because it's not a sport I'm involved in. But in like 2020, 2021, somewhere in there, they bought a production line for 2011 pistols or wide body 1911s, and they started making race guns. So their biggest market in the pistols is probably USPSA, but they make guns for USPSA, Steel Challenge, and IDPA.
What's
Okay.
what's
And if
the
anyone
difference
wants to
between
check that,
steel?
what's the link? Go ahead.
Sorry, you broke up between a
No,
steel.
no. What's the difference between Steel Challenge and USP? I always mess it up. USPCA. No,
USPSA.
Yeah, that one.
Um, uh,
USPCA.
Steel Challenge, you can think of it like a drag race, while USPSA is like a rally race.
Mhm.
So in Steel Challenge, it's always the same 8 stages with 5 steel plates. 7 of those stages you shoot 5 strings, and 1 stage you shoot 4 strings. And it's just draw and shoot the plates as fast as you can. It's time plus scoring. Whoever can shoot steel the fastest wins. Um, and then USPSA, you might have a rough idea of what you're going to see before you get there, but it's never the same stages. A lot more moving, a lot more positions, things like that. Paper targets and steel instead of just steel. Yeah, so drag race versus rally race.
Gotcha. Yeah, because the place that I did my my first shoot, they have Steel Challenge there too.
Yeah, it's a ton
And
of
I
fun.
That's something.
It does does get repetitive for me at a certain point.
Mm.
I did Steel Challenge for basically a year and a half straight. It was like, okay, I'm ready to see something other than these. But it's a lot easier to like see your improvements in Steel Challenge since you shoot the same stages every time. Versus it's like, okay, a 6-hit factor on this stage. Like on one stage in USPSA, a 6-hit factor might be terrible, and on another one, a 6-hit factor might be amazing. So a little bit harder to compare yourself directly from stage to stage.
So, which one do you think is a better starting point for beginners, Steel or USPCA? USPSA.
Yes.
My bad.
It's tough. I would probably put like a beginner in Steel Challenge just because it's less likely that they DQ or have a unfun experience. Just because it's all stationary except for one stage, and then that's not a big move. It's just 2 steps. So that's probably where I put like a beginner. But I've definitely grown to be a bit more partial to USPSA. It's just a ton of fun. So like playing an arcade Call of Duty game in real life or something. So
I like that.
Yeah, it is. It
Is
is
that
fun.
I think my internet is really bad right now, and I think I'm not talking at the same rate you guys are.
You lagging?
Is that would you consider doing that, Dimitri?
What, the Steel Challenge?
Yeah, Steel Challenge. Yeah.
Anything to shoot, dude. You know what I mean? Anything to shoot. It's fun.
Are you a gamer, Greg?
What?
Are you a gamer?
Gamer? A little bit. A lot more in high school and college.
Just because I saw the chair.
Yeah.
So is the setup the same with Steel Challenge as USPSA with the belt setup and all that, and just like how you run? I know you said it's basically the same stages. Right? If I heard you correctly, it's the same stages generally.
So in Steel Challenge, it's always the same stages.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and so, but is like everything else like basically the same as far as like setup goes, like with your belt and everything, and
Yeah, they use the USPSA rulebook.
okay,
Except they also have the one difference there is they also have 22 divisions for like 22 long rifle
okay.
for both rifle and pistol.
Oh wow.
That doesn't work from a holster. But yeah, I don't change anything on my belt between the 2 matches. I do use a slightly different pistol though, because there's no major minor scoring. So in USPSA, certain divisions you can get major scoring. So you have to meet a certain power factor, which is based on your bullet weight, your velocity. And if you do, then Charlies and Deltas are worth a bit more points. So it doesn't hurt as bad if you throw a shot outside the alpha. In Steel Challenge, there's none of that. As long as it rings the plate, you're good. Yeah, I just use an open gun for minor power factor ammo just because it's cheaper to shoot. Also, slightly lighter gun.
Okay. Yeah, it does sound like Steel Challenge would be better for someone that's just getting into competition. You know, not having to worry about hit factors or anything like that. As long as it rings, like you said. That would be, and also like you said, the DQ. Because I actually went and watched a match and just saw Dimitri was there. Saw the first guy. He his first stage. I think he fired off like two shots, and then he got DQ'd running with his finger on the trigger.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a hard call to make as an RO too. The finger calls.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it was very blatant. It wasn't like he was like lagging it. He actually had it like this.
Yeah.
Which is like if he trips, one, he could shoot himself and then shoot spectators and stuff like that. But
yeah,
everybody there was pretty cool. So
yeah, even when he got called on, he wasn't arguing it. He just didn't understand. They thought he was arguing it at first, but he's like, I'm not trying to argue. I just want to understand what I did, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
And they pulled him to the side, and he explained it, and he was very respectful, hung out for the rest of the match, and just kind of,
that's good.
watched and everything, but didn't take it personally or anything like that. So,
Did y'all see his finger on the trigger?
uh,
Um, I
I
was
didn't.
reloading.
Mm,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't.
I got you.
I was
Hmm.
more focused on trying to see how because I think he was the second or third person up or something like that, or maybe,
Mhm.
no,
or was he right
he
before
he
you?
was yeah he was right before me.
Yeah, so I think I was just like trying to focus on that, and see, I wasn't shooting. I wanted to shoot that match, but I had missed the sign up because it went by so fast. It was like 10 minutes, and that sign up was full. And
That's
I
some
thought
gears.
I thought I have more time, and he actually Dimitri actually called me and told me that the sign up was filled up,
Yeah,
and yeah,
Darn.
yeah. I was
So
texting Josh Morgan like, "Help me! What is my USPCA number?" And he was like,
USPSA number.
"Yeah,
Might be the
that
problem
one,
you're looking at.
not the chef organization." All right. No, but
it's
I was
like,
like, "Where do I find it?" He was like, "If you don't have one, just put a bunch of X's in there." So I was just like, X X X X X, sign up, and I was like, yes. But every time I refreshed the page to go back, it was like 50 spots, 30 spots, 15 spots, 6 spots, and that's when I was able to get in.
Yeah,
It was,
Hmm.
and that was in 5 minutes.
must have a pretty popular match around there then, huh? Where are you shooting out of?
So we live in Maryland. Well, me, Austin, and Rob, and then Josh is in Texas. So, but here we don't have too many options in Maryland.
There are a ton of options in Texas, so
Yeah,
Of
exactly.
course. Y'all not communists.
yeah. Josh has got the
they
hookup.
actually just shot down a bill. They shot down this bill that was going to like regulate marijuana and dispensaries and stuff. Like it was going to heavily restrict marijuana in Texas. And in typical Texas fashion, that bill was shot down. So it's like the Wild West. Anything goes.
That's funny enough.
Is my audio like? Can you hear me all right, Greg?
Yeah,
Turn it down a little bit, Josh.
It's okay. All right. Because like I don't
There
know,
we go.
it sounds like muffled to me. But anyway, Greg, I wanted to ask you your training routine. Um, can you you want to walk through that, or is there like stuff like you do to prepare any pregame rituals or pre-match rituals or something?
I really don't have anything super specific. The last couple of weeks leading up, I'm focused on making sure I'm hydrated really well, especially if it's going to be a match in Texas or something. Hydrated and
That's right.
well slept. Other than that, the training schedule. Sadly, I just broke my press. So I haven't gotten into it too hard, but I want it to turn into 3 days of live fire a week and 6 to 7 days of dry fire a week. It'd be 7 unless my forearms tell me it can't be 7. Sometimes your hands just need a break. And then really the training itself is going to change slightly week to week, just depending on where I'm feeling my weaknesses are. There's not really any secrets out there in the shooting stuff though. So
Yeah. Do you do a lot of traveling for your competitions? Like, what's the furthest you traveled?
furthest I've traveled so far is Nevada. However, I'm going to the World Shoot in September, so that'd beat that because that's in South Africa. So that'd be my furthest.
Impressive, man. Dude, that's awesome, man.
Don't be a farmer.
Yeah, no,
That's right.
just stay away from farms.
So, I wanted to ask too. So, we were talking about like just bettering yourselves and always striving for the next milestone. What is like? Are there any records or titles or anything that you're aiming for in the immediate future?
I'd like to eventually get to where, well, the most immediate future one is qualify for the Super Squad at USPSA Nationals, which to do that takes place in the top 13. Eventually, I'd like to be in the running for USPSA Nationals. it's probably more like a 3 to 5 year timeline thing, though. But
Hmm. Yeah,
those are the
pretty
most immediate ones.
for anybody who's not familiar. Could you explain Super Squad for us, please, or for anybody watching?
Yeah, so the Super Squad, basically, they're just trying to put the people that are most likely to win the match all on one squad. Uh, the competitors like it because they get to see their competition shoot, which is nice. You can see where people messed up. You can copy stage plans. You can bounce ideas off each other, such like that. And then spectators like it because they know where to go to watch people. But yeah, so that's what the Super Squad is just that one squad that's got all the heavy hitters on it for the division, and that tends to be awarded based on merit from previous placement.
So it's just a bunch of grandmasters.
Do they send scouts out like when they?
No, they don't like send scouts out. It's just kind of a.
Let's just say like college scouts for the Super Squad or something.
Like the NBA.
Generally,
what do they just their skills and just pull them from or
just whoever placed in the top 13 last year at nationals is generally who's going to be there. Obviously,
okay.
if someone doesn't show up, they might fill from like, okay, this year at areas so and so is really kicking butt, so we're going to throw him in there to fill that spot, that no show slot.
What brand of gun do you shoot?
Masterpiece Arms.
Masterpiece, huh? Well, makes sense.
sponsored in part.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Shooting open division for them, so got their DS9 open.
You do any rifle stuff?
This beautiful thing right here.
Oh man,
that is beautiful.
Right? Look like RoboCop's gun.
I like the option on that.
Solo blaster.
Hey Jem, welcome to the podcast. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate you watching.
Do any rifle stuff you asked?
Yes.
Not much in form of competing, but I do shoot rifles for fun.
Yeah.
I used to do all of my shooting for fun, and now most of my shooting is more work-like, but I can still go out and relax with a rifle. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So what's kind of like? Do you have any at one of those moments in your shooting competing career where you were just like you really beat yourself up about like anything like the most devastating to you?
Oh, of course, that's happened many times.
I'm talking about the top. What's the biggest one?
The biggest one, and I don't know if this is just because it's the biggest one or because it's the most fresh, but just like a month ago, I was down at Dragon's Cup, and I had a really nice lead, and then I threw it all the way on one stage and ended up finishing second because of it. So that's the big fresh one at the moment.
Reality.
That one hurt, huh?
Reality slaps.
So.
Have you thought about doing 3-gun? Did anyone ask that?
I have thought about it, and I've got a buddy that shoots a lot of 3-gun, and he keeps trying to drag me into it, but it's just very expensive. It's barrier to entry is a little higher. I've got a rifle that do it. I've got pistols that do it. I don't have a shotgun that do it. I don't really want to take the time to learn to quad load either, but I could definitely be talked into it. I'm thinking about. I'll probably shoot a match with him at some point. Just borrow a bunch of his stuff.
There you go.
I don't see myself doing okay. When I do it, who knows? The bug may bite me, but just at the moment, I don't see myself getting too terribly obsessive with it. I can only have one super expensive obsession at a time. So,
especially nowadays, right?
Yeah, I know that. I'm looking to buy ammo right now. I'm looking at steel cases, and I'm like, this is $30 cheaper for 1,000 rounds. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, a lot heavier in the mag too. Extra weight and gun never hurt nobody. So.
There you go. We're in the good with the bad.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I was just looking at Magpul or Magtech steel
yeah.
case.
I
And
didn't
they're
even know that.
$30 cheap. Yeah, dude, they're $30 cheaper than all than Blazer and
Mm.
all that stuff that we usually get.
I
You
thought
gotta
you
go.
were going to say wolf. I'm sorry.
When I see people with Wolf, I'm like, where did you buy them? Because everywhere I see them, they're the same price as Blazers. So it's like, why would you get these when you could just get Blazers?
I kind of like the Blazer stuff too for cheap minor practice. I don't really shoot much minor anymore. It's all open major, so I have to hand load it all. But yeah, the Blazer aluminum 124 grain I've taken many a match. Shooting minor.
Yeah, that's I like the Blazer for shooting around. What do you use for like your normal everyday ammo?
Uh, like normal every day for my open guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's a hand load. We call it 9 major or 9
Okay.
super. It's a 124 grain projectile loaded to a cartridge length of 1.180 with 9.8 grains of accurate number 7 powder and a small rifle primer.
Okay.
It's pushing like 1360 feet per second, I think. It's
Isn't that
pretty
like
spicy.
plus P?
What?
Isn't that plus P?
That's like plus B plus plus.
Oh. What kind of slug you put in it?
Yeah, so it's like 1360 to 1370.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean it's you have to put that through a specialty competition gun like that. That'd blow up a normal gun.
Yeah.
320s would be crying.
That's just smoking.
It's cruising, man. It's cruising.
Have
Yeah,
you
the
so
popple holes and the comp and such help keep the pressures a bit lower.
so you do all the hand loading?
Yeah, and actually that load is up on Masterpiece Arms website. It's the recommended load for open guns.
Okay.
Except they've been using a 125 grain blue bullet. The only reason I switched from that projectile is I got a cert for a different projectile off a prize table, so I got a bunch of those for cheap. So
Hold on, are you talking about concealed carry?
no, I'm not talking
Oh.
about concealed carry. I'm talking about like
Oh, okay, my fault. That's why I said, what kind of slug you having?
yeah for concealed carry I just use a HST,
Heck yeah.
federal HST.
Yeah,
That's the round for concealed carry right there, man.
Oh yeah,
that stopped a lot of threats, man.
well proven.
Yeah.
You got any do you have any sponsors that you want to shout out or anything like that or
Yeah, so Masterpiece Arms works with several different people in the industry, including Shooters Connection, which is like an online uh, sporting goods store, basically. And their shipping is really good. Their customer support's really good. They've got gun butter. They've got great gun oil. Wow, put me on the spot for hold on, all these out.
gun
Isotune
butt
Sport
shooters
are,
connection?
yep. Isotune Sport gives us our Ear Pro.
Oh heck yeah.
Wow.
They've also got some good, like instead of over ear, they got some good like Bluetooth in ears, which are kind of fun. I'll use those in the airport quite often.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hunter's HD Gold. Those are nice because they darken. I like I have the golds and his active blue line. I prefer shooting in the golds. They darken enough in the sun that I'm comfortable with them, but the like red dot isn't way overbearingly bright.
Mhm.
The active blues darken a lot more and are nicer for driving. They also darken behind a windshield.
Yeah.
Then I use a dominant defense belt, like his outer belt inner belt combo. Great belts, love them. He hand makes them, and then Make Ready Nutrition.
Make Ready Nutrition?
Yep.
Um And do you have like any people you want to shout out, like any mentors uh, from your Masterpiece Arms? Is there any mentors you got that you want to shout out?
So big mentor from college days would be Coach Adam Burlew. He's in charge of the physical action shooting team. Big current mentors Travis Tomasi. He's the team captain of Masterpiece Arms.
Okay, right on. Well, shout out to those guys. I posted these links in the chat if anyone wants to check them out. These are sponsors of Greg's at Masterpiece Arms, so they got a lot of their stuff from these companies. So please check them out. Which leads me to my to this next plug of our sponsors. Drum roll. You can go to Goliath Defense and you can go to cockedfirearms.com. If you want 10% off everything site wide, use promo code 2AB. These guys make some really good equipment, optics, firearms. If you go to Cocked Firearms, you can get anything from a 1911 all the way up to a Barrett 50 cal. So please check them out. And like I said, promo code 2AB, 10% off site wide. You can also check out this podcast and many like it on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, and iTunes. Yeah, and we also post on YouTube, Rumble, X, Instagram, and TikTok. So.
Motherfuckers. And also, they're not a sponsor, but American Asshole. He's a good man.
Yep.
Exactly. He is.
So what's like a preparation you like to do before your competitions and everything? Like, what do you use to get ready? And what do you use to get ready and train for, and get in the right mindset for your competitions?
Targets. No, I'm kidding. No, I kind of ramp up my training as I come into matches, but it's mainly going to be on like the closer I get, the more I need to be feeling comfortable and confident. And so like my training is going to be set up really difficult. And then if there's something that's like worrying me, that's going to be a focus so that I don't worry about it when I get to the match. And then I may not touch the gun the last day or two before the match just so my hands are fresh.
Nice.
I haven't heard that before, not touching the gun a day or two before.
I'll do some dry fire warm up the day of, but it depends on how hard I've been going. I mean, the forearms are just getting fried, so I need a little bit of rest and recovery time before I go into it.
That's pretty smart. I never thought of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's the mindset of a grandmaster, man. You don't have that.
Right?
You don't have that in there.
I'm not on that level.
Yeah. That just comes from, showing up to a match like, oh gosh, my hands.
I can't even shoot now.
What optic do you run?
I'm currently running the Vortex Defender XLs, the 5 MOA.
The big boy.
Yep, big boy, big dot.
Mm-hmm.
I used to run 2.5 MOA dots. Finding I like the bigger dot because I can keep it a bit dimmer and still see it easily. And keeping it dimmer means it doesn't starburst, and I don't got a little bit of a astigmatism, so I don't get the splitting off the dot as bad. So
I got the little bit of astigmatism too. Yeah. That's why I don't have a dot on mine. Because everyone I've tried has been really it starburst, and it's been hard to see, so I don't run dots.
Really?
On my carry pistol. What's that?
I said maybe try a bigger MOA dot and keep it a little lower.
I'll try it. Yeah, there's a couple I found at the last gun show I went to, from Gideon
Defense.
Gideon Defense. They had one or two that I tried that were actually pretty decent. But I've been keeping irons on my pistol, my carry pistol. So yeah.
Joey Sauerland would approve.
What's that?
Joey Sauerland would approve.
Yeah, I mean, I also don't do an optic because I feel like just getting good with the basics of having iron sights. If anything was to ever happen to where I can't rely on my dot and everything, then being able to be comfortable with iron sights is a big plus for me. So one day I might switch over and put an optic on, but for right now, I think I'm just gonna keep it iron sights.
One day you might transition.
I've sooner than you think, buddy. Sooner than you think.
Yeah, no, I would definitely recommend moving to a red dot.
Hmm.
They give you a lot of feedback, a lot of feedback.
Yeah.
Um, they also force some consistency because they're kind of all or nothing. Like when you present that gun, if you don't have the dot, like the irons, you can see I presented them. Oh gosh, cameras. I presented them wacky. That's where they need to go. But the
Mhm.
dot, if you don't have a dot, you got nothing. So, kind of forces a bit more consistency to be able to get it every time.
Yeah.
Consistency in your grip and such, but also it's just a lot more fine of an aiming system.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like, like you may not see much wobble in your irons, but then you put it out there on that red dot, you're seeing like all this stuff, which is
Yeah.
fine. You're shooting with that there anyway. Uh, you don't need to eliminate all the wobble, but it also shows you as I pulled the trigger, that happened.
Yeah.
Easier. So,
Yeah.
I want to ask, have you ever used any of those like trainer things like that you put on like that Mantis dry fire thing it's like a Bluetooth that you hook up to your phone?
not
You ever
really.
use something like that?
I do have some of those. I played with some of those early on before I started competing. Uh, really, we already have you've already spent a lot of money on things that show you where that round's going to go. Because if you got a red dot, you've already got a little glowing red dot that's going to show you right where that round's going to go. But if you got irons, you got
Yeah.
3 posts that are going to show you right where that round's going to go. So if you know how to read your sights, you can see that your sights didn't move when you pull the trigger. You know where the round went. So I don't think you need to spend a lot of money to know where those are going. But if
That's true.
that makes it a lot more fun for you to dry fire, then you should absolutely if that makes it more likely for you to dry fire, you should get it.
You can use tracers too, right?
Yeah.
A tracer around.
Yeah, I do have some of them. Like I have the Mantis Blackbeard system for my AR, just because I played with it somewhere and I was like, okay, that's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
I
Just
put it in
just
the
shoot
little laser toy for a while.
just shoot rounds off in your house, man.
Well, I could do that too if the wife wouldn't like it. But
Eh. And just do
Well-
when she's not home.
Yeah.
Little spackle, she'll never know.
oh yeah,
Zip through, hit the neighbor's house too.
that would be a problem.
Yeah.
Just get in the basement, just blow concrete out myself.
There you go.
Gas pop. There you go, Dimitri. So last week we were talking about how we had Jay on from Sinistrom Training. He's the owner, and we talked about how he's coming in contact and coming across other people in the competition shooting world that are using virtual reality as a viable training method for competition shooting. I just wanted to ask you any thoughts on that. I mean, have you ever tried it? You ever done practice with VR?
I haven't tried it just because of the cost. Just not really at a spot where I can go drop that kind of coin on a VR system. But I would try it. But yeah, I don't really have much opinion on it because I haven't tried it either way. My initial thought going in is I would want my controller to weigh the same as my actual pistol, which would be tough.
Yeah.
So there were companies. Actually, we did talk about this too, but essentially, yeah, there was like 3D printed, and they tried to get like the weight as accurate as possible, but a 3D printed version of the pistol that you use to compete with, and all the inward parts of the VR controller are like inside the pistol. So that, I mean, to get it as accurate as possible. Now, when Austin and I were in the Army, and we had this training simulator somewhere towards the end of boot camp where you're basically shooting a rifle, almost like a gas powered. It has like gas blowback, but it's like a
Oh, I think I've
BB.
heard of these.
Yeah, and so you're just shooting at a screen like Duck Hunt, except it has the vibration and like the recoil accuracy. So, and I forget what they're called, but so and that that works well with preparation because your people first learning how to shoot and their reaction to the recoil. You see a lot of people lean forward like when they're shooting with their pistol because they're anticipating the recoil. So
Yeah.
I digress, but yeah. EST, there you go. That's what it was called. The EST 2000 was the training simulator we did in boot camp. But anyway,
Yeah.
Dad's day, they had something else. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like a M16 with a pneumatic piston in it. That they
yeah, really.
You know what's funny? I actually forgot all about that.
Yeah, right.
EST 2000. I like when you started talking about it at first. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then when you put in the EST 2000, that actually popped into my head, and I remembered that. Yeah, I forgot all about that, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Good times, right?
Yeah. Weaponeer. That sounds right.
So would you ever consider, or are you doing it now, or would you ever consider being a coach or a mentor to some other people who are new to the competition world?
I've considered it. The biggest thing that's stopping me is it's just I put a lot of time into learning how to shoot good, but like no time into learning how to tell other people to shoot good, and so I feel like I'd be wasting people's money. But that may not be true. It may just be an excuse. But I'm pretty busy right now too.
So, how many rounds do you put down range a month for your training?
A month. I
break out the calculations.
Yeah, a lot of pace. Usually, I do about 30,000 a year. So if I do, that's about 2,500 a month.
Dang, it's a little out of my price range.
Do you reload?
What?
Do you reload?
Yep, I have to load them all.
Have you noticed like a big price difference in like how much are you saving on your reloads?
Basically nothing. But because I'm loading the 9 major, like not really anybody makes 9 major, so I just have to load it. Like there's not really anywhere else to get it. Kind of wildcat. So
yeah.
Have you ever had any trouble with that round? Like, know?
No, but I've only ever put it at MPAs. And
I got you.
I had like normal learning curve problems with like learning to reload, but thankfully like David Lyle and Andrew Hyder and Caleb Patterson at MPA have all been through all that. They're all really good on the press, so they were able to like bring some ammo with me to matches, and they're like, "Oh, you're an idiot. You're doing this wrong." I was like, "Oh, thanks. Okay." So they got me walked in. So
heck yeah. So if you said that if you put that in like just a normal pistol, it'd blow up, right?
Yeah, it's pushing some pretty insane pressures.
Have you ever thought about it though? Like the intrusive thoughts get to you, and you're just like, "Man, I really don't care about this gun, but I really want to see what happens."
I've had those thoughts, and then I look down and I see that I have 10 fingers, and I really like that. So I don't regret it.
I don't know, man. The intrusive thought would get to me, and it's like, I want to see the destruction of this gun, you know?
It's gonna have a hand grenade in it.
Yeah. Rob actually almost bought a hand grenade yesterday. Yeah,
a deactivated one. Come on, man.
Deactivated one.
Like that.
A deactivated one, yes. It's a not a real
agents just perked up.
Not a real hand grenade. Let me say it was at a store, a replica store.
We're gonna have another talk with Austin.
Military surplus store. But No, yeah, no. I was just like, I would if I had that ammo, man. I would really have to fight the urge to just like put a string on like at a range, just put a string on the trigger and just give it a little
Hurt
yank.
yourself.
Yeah, you
I don't
know.
have any. I don't have any pistols. I'm just willing to trash like that. So
Go to a pawn shop and just buy the cheapest one you could find.
little $200 piece of crap. Yeah, that'd definitely handle a 9 major round.
That'd be a good viral like YouTube video, you know.
That would probably be a good round for a pistol caliber carbine.
What?
The the one he
No.
the 9 major.
Oh,
Yeah,
'Cause
PCC.
they're kind of beefed up, right?
I don't. You probably have to. Yeah, I don't know what kind of pressures those parts can take.
Mm-hmm.
That's not my kind of gun nerd.
Yeah.
what? So, two questions. One, are you on any social media platforms like where people can see your competitions or anything like that?
Yeah, I post everything to Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
And where can we find you?
Greg competes. It's that on all three of them.
Okay.
Greg competes.
Yep. I can drop it in the chat if you want.
Yeah,
It's all
please do. Yeah. Awesome. So next question: if you could travel anywhere in the world to shoot a competition, where would that be?
I don't really see much reason to leave the U.S. Really.
Smart.
South
Smart
Africa.
Honestly, probably Montana or Nevada. Those states are gorgeous. Went out to Nevada for Area 1 last year. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Mountains, they were great.
So you wouldn't want to get into any outside the U.S. competitions. I've seen those are like getting pretty big.
I mean, I'd love to. I'd go to them.
What about one in North Korea?
Well, I don't know that I'd go to that one, but I don't know if they'd let me. There's a match in Greece sometimes, and that might be yearly. I'd have to look into it, but and it's gorgeous over there too. So that'd be really cool to do. It's a lot of hassle to fly firearms over there.
Yeah.
So I mean, I will do it. I will absolutely go shoot more internationally. That's something I want to do more. But in terms of like all around enjoyment, doing them in the U.S. is a little bit higher because I don't have to do as much paperwork. So.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely, and shipping firearms obviously is a hassle.
Especially
So
internationally.
Yeah, well, you put them in your checked bag. You don't ship them ahead. That would scare the crap out of me. Figure I'd get there, they wouldn't be there anymore. There would be
no. What's this? Let me open it up.
It says weapons on the outside because someone sticks a sticker on it at the airport that says weapons.
Yeah. But my thing is like, because I know in the U.S. and I might be wrong on this, so please, if you know better, correct me. But like, if you were to fly to a state that say you're not allowed to carry a firearm, it's like really there's what's the word I'm looking for? There's stipulations like picking it up right at like in your check bag. So flying to a different country, you're definitely a lot of countries you're not allowed to carry a firearm. So transporting it, like I wonder how you would have to go about finding out the rules for that country and transportation of your firearms.
You gotta do your research ahead of time. Like in South Africa, it's just gotta stay like in the case. Like it can't be like on me loaded. It has to be unloaded, separate from ammo in a case. And then I have to be with it at all times, or it has to be put in a safe with a certain millimeter steel thickness that's bolted to the floor, which no hotel ever is going to have. So if I like wanted to go out and do a day of sightseeing, I'd like have to take it to this special dude that's basically their equivalent of an FFL that would like sign it into their book and put it in his safe for the day. and then I could come pick it up. He'd sign it out of his book and it'd be back in my possession. But you just have to do your research ahead of time. In terms of the U.S., I haven't flown to a state that wouldn't let me have them. Um, I know New York, the state, was in the news a couple times for people like had their flights delayed, like they flew with firearms, and they landed in New York City, and their flights got delayed, so they like went to a hotel and then came back to the airport. The police would be waiting for them and would arrest them for having guns in New York City. But nobody, I don't think any charges ever actually stuck to anybody because they got off because of entrapment. But,
Mhm.
a lot of
Yeah,
headache.
that's what I was talking about. Like places like New York and I think even California. I think that's happened too, to where people have had issues like that, to where their flight got rerouted to a different state or delayed in a layover, and they've had those issues. So that's what I was talking about.
Unhappy kiddo.
Right.
Oh, it cut off. I was like, wait, what? He had to mute it.
Yeah.
So do you, Greg? Do you ever take like an off season, or do you just kind of take a little bit of like, like maybe a day or two, or like what's that look like? Like your training schedule and stuff.
So, uh, fall to early spring, like winter, there's not very many matches, so that tends to be everyone's off season. Um, I'm still training in that period of time. I just kind of I ratchet it back where like if there's a day I'm just really not feeling like training, I'm not going to train, and that's my break. Because like if I like say okay for the next 2 weeks you're not going to train, like I tick myself off because I'm like itchy, like I want to touch them, but I told myself I can't, and then that's not really restful. So for it to be restful, it's like basically it turns into a train when you want to train kind of thing, which still tends to be most of the week. But I don't force myself to pick them up if I don't want to. But.
Good self control, man. It's really good. Let's see. Man, it seems like everybody's having issues tonight, man, with their technical difficulties. But you know, so are there any like let's see, like any particular? I know Dimitri likes to ask this one every time. Um, tips, tips for shooters who want to improve accuracy, because we have a lot of viewers that there's a good handful of them that are very brand new to the shooting world. They've never held a gun, or they're looking to purchase their first firearm and get into competition shooting. So accuracy, what are some things you can do to train for accuracy?
So purely accuracy, that's a lot of shooting is very simple, but that doesn't make it easy. So all you have to do to be accurate is pull the trigger straight to the rear without disturbing your sights. Actually, doing that can be a bit harder, but basically, grip the gun really hard, grip the piss out of it, not so hard it's shaking. Back off a little bit from there. Put the sights where they need to go, and then prep to the wall. Ease the rear from there, and do that without moving the sights. And then do that a lot, and then you'll be really good at it.
Right. Perfect practice makes perfection. What was that? I forget.
Close enough.
Yeah, but you have to practice good. You can have bad practice.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely want to make sure you're gripping the gun well too, because I mean, I can tell you, there aren't a lot of targets I pull the trigger very gentle on anymore, really. But having a really firm grip can make up for that. If you've got a really loose, sloppy grip, you better pull the trigger well.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. My child woke up and decided to have a complete meltdown about not going back to sleep.
Don't worry. These things happen.
I know we were told we heard from some other shooters that a one good practice is your dominant hand. like that should you should have a looser grip with that hand than the non-dominant hand. Is that in good practice like in your experience?
Yeah, I do. I do think I grip the gun a lot harder with my left hand than my right hand.
Yeah.
I don't tend to try to assign percentages to it though. I just kind of
Mm.
I give people a starting point and then
What feels natural.
figure out what works for them from there. You know, everyone's a little different, so.
Yeah.
See, and that's what I love about it. When it comes to calibers and weapons platforms, and all different kind of. You could even have a stance that's like sort of unnatural to like what you're supposed to do, and people will be incredible shooters, and in their own little way.
Oh yeah,
So it's pretty cool, to see like how complex or like just how different it is, across the board. But because
there
like I
are
don't know what,
definitely some like hard truths. You know, like
yeah,
no one
of
would tell you like holding low on the pistol is a good thing. You know, but then like within. I once met a guy. He said shooting is 75% science and 25% art form. So like once you get through that 75%, that 25% there's some room to play. You know.
yeah, I like that. I like the way he said that. Let's see if you could shoot a match with any famous person. If you could shoot a match with anyone famous, alive or dead.
Anyone famous, alive or dead?
Yeah,
Ooh, that's a tough one.
because I mean, have you done like matches like duo, uh, or anything like that? Because
It's a pretty individual sport.
yeah, they don't
I guess
do like
shooting against someone that's famous, competing against someone.
sure.
If we got to shoot against someone who's famous, I got to go back and find somebody that's like supposed to be the best and see if I can't whoop them.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, exactly. Who can shoot the better headshot? Yeah.
Right. Well, what was the guy who was the guy who shot Lincoln? He's only good if
John Wilkes Booth.
Yeah, John Booth.
Booth.
Execution
right.
style competition.
We actually went to a Civil War. What was it, Austin?
Reenact.
Oh, the
Reenactment.
no, it was artifact like like artifact places like Civil War antique stuff.
Museum.
It wasn't like a museum. You could actually buy the stuff there. Like they had some crazy stuff like rifles
gift
that were like dug out of the ground.
Flags.
Flags. You could buy a bone saw from like the Civil War that was like
Oh,
used.
dang.
Yeah, that was used in the Civil War, like crazy stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back before we knew about bacteria or infections.
Yeah, get out the old bone saw,
And something
they
to bite down on.
they had crutches there. They had a bale of cotton. I think you could buy the bale of cotton. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Fun fact: the Civil War is when we started figuring out that sterilizing equipment was a good idea.
Yeah.
The South ran out of suture, and so they started taking horsehair and using horsehair as suture, but to make it pliable enough to actually use the suture, it had to be boiled. But boiling it disinfected it. They started having less gangrene.
That's crazy.
When we do this, people don't die as much.
Why that is, yeah.
Crazy.
Could you imagine getting a limb cut off with no anesthesia or anything, man?
I don't desire to imagine that.
Right, that's crazy.
Glass of whiskey fixes it all.
Yeah.
It makes you bleed more.
Yeah.
But no, it was
pretty
pretty
cool.
cool.
People went into shock and died. Crazy.
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool going in there because me and Rob had went up to Gettysburg yesterday, and that's why when I said buying the hand grenade, it was in a replica store, or not a replica store, a surplus store, and it was a deactivated hand grenade. So clarify. But yeah, we were walking around Gettysburg and we saw that, and yeah, they had a ton of cool stuff in there. A lot of old pistols, like I said, swords, stuff like that, like stuff that
That
was
one
actually.
flag, that one flag was nice, man. It
Oh
had
yeah,
how many stars?
what was it? It was 30,
I can't
36.
remember. The one by the door that
Yeah,
wasn't for sale.
oh, that one. I don't know how many stars that one had.
It had one big ass one in the middle.
Yeah, but it looked like a lot of the stars, some of the stars had actually fallen off.
Hmm
Yeah, so I don't know how many it still had on it.
That
But
other one was 3 Gs.
yeah, they had another one that was really old. They were selling it for like 3,500, I want to say.
Hmm
And I was like, man, if I had 3,500 to spend, I'd actually buy this and
Right,
like frame it.
put it in a frame and everything. That would be so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be pretty awesome.
yeah. Nah, but it was really crazy just going back there and just looking at all that stuff, man. So Gettysburg's a cool place, man.
It
I don't know if
is.
you've ever
It
been
is.
there.
Nope, never been there.
Yeah,
Someday.
yeah. Very good chance to check it out, man.
Hmm
So there's a ton of history of being, one of the 13 colonies, Pennsylvania,
Hmm.
and like just everybody came through that section, like coming from Great Britain. So
Hmm.
it's just like steeped in tradition. Like all the battlefields, all up and down, man. The East Coast are like they're a sight to see. Everybody should go check them out.
hmm
Yeah, Virginia
That
has a
was a
lot of
very
them.
that was a
Uh,
very important war, man.
yeah, Virginia has a lot of them. Maryland doesn't have as many like Civil War battlefield sites.
Hmm
They do have down in Southern Maryland a prisoner of war camp for. It was I think it was originally supposed to be a base for Confederate soldiers, and then it got taken over and became a prisoner of war camp for Confederate soldiers. So it was a Union run camp for Confederate soldiers. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, like that's
And
really.
then wars are the reason why we have the Second Amendment and we can
While we
keep.
have freedom that they're trying to take away.
Yeah.
That's well. Remember what we were talking about. How when you relinquish a freedom, it's even harder to get it back once
Hmm
you've given it up.
Oh yeah,
It's,
Exactly.
yeah. And so many people don't realize that. I mean, I was talking with my dad the other day because my dad's kind of he's one of those people like you don't talk about guns, which funny enough, part of a podcast that all we do is talk about guns. But he's like you don't talk about guns, you don't talk about concealed carry stuff like that. And I was just kind of telling him, was like, but if there's a stigma behind it, if there's a stigma behind carrying a weapon, you take away the normalization
and
of it. If you're walking in a grocery store and you reach for something on the top shelf and your gun just pokes out a little bit, like I don't want people freaking out because they see it.
hmm
I want it to be normal. Obviously I'd rather not have it poking out, but if it happens by accident, which does happen sometimes,
hmm
you don't want people sitting there staring at you and watching you. You want it to be a normal thing where people don't even notice.
hmm
Um, and the more you talk about it, the more it becomes normal.
Yeah.
These days, so many people are on their phone. I'm pretty sure you could have it out in open carry, and not many people would see it. So,
Yeah, that's the thing. I've been really focusing on not like walking around on my phone, like as much as I can, trying to avoid that. And just doing that, I've actually like going into stores. I've actually noticed people that are carrying just by paying attention to my surroundings. And like you could actually like pick people out and stuff that are like, okay, that person has a firearm.
Lawful carriers or just the
You
common
can tell a
criminal.
lot of them are lawful carriers. I mean, some of them, who
make
knows?
that
You never
really
really
eye
know.
contact.
When you see extended mag in that waistline.
Oh gosh, the worst one I saw, I was at a Best Buy.
Hmm.
This guy came by with one of the like single shot break open handguns, like
Oh
a
hell
target.
yeah!
Like you take a shot, you have to like break it open and like drop anyone in. And then like there were these little like bungee cords on the front of his like one size fits none holster, and that lead cast, like looked hand cast cartridges like tucked in the front for reloading with. It was.
I guess that's better than a pointy stick, huh? You can always club them to death.
I started dying laughing in Best Buy. My wife's like, "What are you laughing at?" I'm like, "I'll tell you later."
You guys ever seen this before? This video here? Ever
Yeah.
seen this? The security guard.
The Glock mag and a Taurus.
Look at that.
Look, he's flagging everybody.
Just because it looks cool.
And it jammed.
Right.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that, but that's pretty good.
Yeah. Dude, it's so funny. I'll put it in the chat. Anybody wants to watch it, man. It's a good laugh.
Trying now to get you killed.
I'm pretty sure I saw a kid who had like a revolver style pistol with a magazine taped to
Yeah,
to
I
the
think.
grip.
An extended magazine at that.
So I saw a video. I can't find it anywhere, but I saw this video, right? And it was a dude in a gas station who just had it in his pocket, right? And the
Yeah.
grip was sticking out of his pocket. And he was in line, and some dude just walked up behind him and grabbed it and then walked out, and he asked for his gun back. Like, he was just asking the guy, was like, "Can I have my back, please?" And then the dude was like, "No." And then he starts like following him. And I think like the dude started like popping shots off with the guy's own gun, started popping shots off at him with his own gun, you know. I don't know what happened.
With your own gun.
I couldn't find anything on if the dude actually died or not, or if he got shot with his own gun. But yeah, just standing in line, just someone just grabs it and walks off. And the balls to ask for your own gun back, you know?
Yeah, I think I'd count my losses at that point. Be like, well, I'm not going to get shot by my own gun today.
I
Can I have
found
it
it.
back, pretty please?
Pretty.
In an active retention quality holster. Today we get another room.
All right, check it out. Here we go. We don't have to listen to that guy talk. But,
Yep,
so check it out.
That's
Oh,
the dude
man.
right there that just walked in.
Yeah, so that is that white dude who walked in. He comes up.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah, right there.
Yep.
You just ask him, like, "Can I have it back?"
Yep.
He's just like, "Nope."
See, that's why you need a holster with retention, good retention.
Come on, man, give it back to me.
Does he get shot?
I think they start letting off, but I don't know if they hit him.
Please, friends.
It went off.
My favorite, the best, should be either strong.
Look, there it is, sticking out.
Was that because when it was shooting, it sounded like it had the crack of a high velocity round?
I don't know. Like I said, I couldn't find any more information on it. I couldn't find any like news article on if anyone died, anyone got hurt, if
Did not link anything in this YouTube.
the dude got his gun back. I didn't see anything.
But why would he think that's a good idea?
No sign. Oh yeah, let's see what YouTube says. Gunfight ensues after open carrier has firearm yanked off him by perp. Okay.
Infused.
Yeah. The guy who had his gun got taken, had a friend with him and multiple firearms and a truck outside. He went back to that truck and a gunfight ensued. resulting in the death of at least one of the males who took the firearm.
Mm.
They shot the guy they took the gun from in his truck. That's him screaming. Did you guys hear him screaming in the video? He's like cussing. He's saying the F word. He's like, here, let me go back. You can hear him screaming after all that initial volley of shots comes out.
Look very clearly here. He's just got it stuck in his back pocket.
So yeah, he's just screaming.
Definitely getting
Maryland tomorrow morning for one match. All right, brother. Good.
He's the
Where all
he's the
all
match.
the alphas? He's what?
That's Billy. He's saying he's the match director tomorrow morning for the match.
Oh, okay.
Not Maryland.
Oh shit.
Roger
Heck
that.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, that's crazy, man. Like that's why you gotta have a good retention holster, and you gotta if you're having a. That's why I don't like conceal or open carry. I don't like. I agree with the fact that we should have it, but I don't like open carry
Makes you a
because
target.
it makes you a target, and if you don't have good retention on that holster, you know,
Yep.
someone could come up and take it from you. Just like
And-
my holster,
and-
my holster's a concealed carry holster, but if I had it, outside the waistband,
Hmm.
someone could easily come up and just grab it, and I'd be screwed.
You just gotta be aware, man. You can't let your guard down, especially when you're carrying.
Mm-hmm.
And just the fact that he had it, it was visible, and so But I hope the guy's okay. I don't know if I don't know what the aftermath of that was, but I'm gonna keep looking and see if I can find it so we can get to the bottom of it. But
Yeah.
listen, hey Greg, we're at an hour. Are you still good?
I'm good.
You good? All right. Okay, so
Yeah, I've been thinking about
at least one of
popping
the
the
guys.
extendo mag on my concealed carry holster.
Your
My concealed carry.
367?
Yeah, I carry appendix, so just having that extendo out,
Mm-hmm.
Just have a tumor coming out your side.
Yeah.
Guy gets gun stolen at gas station. All right, man, stolen gun, holster. Okay. Oh, wow. So this is Colion Noir. A man lost his life because 3 criminals targeted him carrying his gun in his back pocket, and he never even saw it coming. This is exactly why open carry and poor concealment can be dangerous. Not to mention, someone is watching you when you step into a gas station. If your shirt rides up or your gun prints through your clothing, that's all it takes for the wrong people to mark you as a target. So, and here's another one. Carrying a gun isn't just about having one. It's about protecting it because criminals aren't afraid of your gun. They're looking for an opportunity to steal it and use it against you. We say it a million times, and I'll say it a million and one times that criminals don't care about the law, and gun legislation is really about taking the rights away from the law-abiding citizen. That's really who it only affects.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
Exactly.
yes, I wanted to mention that. But yeah, so according to that, I mean, I guess the guy passed away. So condolences to him and his family, man, because he should have had a holster and retention.
Yeah. And I mean, keeping it in your back pocket. Like, I understand, having a pocket pistol, but in your back pocket, it's so easy to just grab stuff out of it. I mean, you're really at that point asking for it. At that point, you're really not having any insight onto what your surroundings are.
Yeah, man. Self-awareness.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. All right. So what else we got here?
Greg? Would you ever carry a pistol in your back pocket?
No, I'm a appendix guy.
Yeah, me too. Dude, do you?
And I'll talk about concealed carry. The hidden gem of concealed carry is a good belt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
So many people get a good holster, good gun, and then throw like a
Trash
Walmart
belt.
belt on there and wonder why it hurts.
Dude, when I first got my concealed carry, I had it's an all right holster. Rob had actually given me, but it doesn't really have a good clip on it, and that was like the main thing was it didn't have a good clip on it. Uh, but I also had a really bad belt, just a standard worn out leather belt.
Yeah,
And it was just I remember my first time I was going on a hike, and every time I bent over, like it was just like trying to flip over. Um, and it was not good. I immediately went and I got a good belt with the. I actually got one with the ratcheting system, and I love
that's
it,
what I
man.
used to
Yeah.
belt with the ratcheting system. Do you uh big gun guy or little gun guy if you're concealed carry?
I prefer I prefer compact. I carry a 19 G19. So I prefer a compact. I actually am looking at getting a 365 B365. Um, I carry appendix too. I'm a little bit of a bigger guy. I have a gut. So just having it being able to be a little deeper concealed makes it more comfortable for me. But I have you ever rocked the pillow?
The what?
The pillow?
The pillow? No.
Yeah, so I got a pillow on mine, and dude, this thing
No
is a
way.
game changer for appendix.
Huh.
I can bend over and touch my toes, um, and I don't even feel it digging in. I could sit in the car for hours and drive, don't even feel it digging in. Like this thing is absolutely amazing.
Looks like
Yeah,
it would make a pressure point.
it you could adjust how much like you could change how much goes into it. It's just got like this little stuffing in there, and you could pull out or add more as you want. But it doesn't like dig it into my gut, but it just gets it away from my groin, you know. And if I bend over, like I said, sitting in a car, I don't have I don't have this sitting and digging into my pelvis. It's cushioned. And it's really comfortable, man. I tell you, it's a game changer. I will say, when I'm wearing like gym shorts or like sweatpants, it makes it also look like I'm a little bit more blessed down there.
Yeah.
So, that's also another perk. But dude, the pillow, man, yeah, it's a game changer, dude.
I'd have to check that out.
You guys ever saw the Landstand 1900? You ever seen that? It's a Norwegian pistol, but it's a semi-automatic revolver.
Nope.
Look at this thing, man. It's got a magazine in it. And check it out. There's and then I think he pulls the mag out. Yeah. Check this out.
Look
19,
heavy as shit.
right, doesn't it?
So does the mag feed the cylinder?
Isn't that wild?
In which case, it wouldn't be a mag, it'd be a clip.
Mm.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah.
I need another clip.
How does that work?
I'm all out of clips, brother.
Oh, that's crazy though.
Yeah, man. Leave it to the Norwegians.
Yeah.
So it puts two in at the.
So, Greg, what is speaking of weird and offshoot guns? What is your dream gun?
Uh, I'm not really sure I have a dream gun. There's a lot of guns I have that I like. And there's a lot of guns that I don't have that I like.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to pick just one. Uh,
So you don't have one to where if you had any money in the world to buy one gun, it would you would buy this particular one.
at least not off the top of my head. If you give me long enough, I'm sure I'd come up with a good one.
Yeah. I've always
AC-1
wanted
Might be up there on the list.
I know I'll never have one, but I've always wanted a Singer 1911, man.
Oh, the Singer. Yeah.
Yeah. My wife actually got really big into sewing. So we went out and bought her a Singer sewing machine.
Yeah.
And after that I told her, was like, okay, I got you a Singer. Now you have to get me one. And
Didn't
she's
they
like,
didn't they end up making O3s as well?
uh, I'm not sure.
Um, yeah, that thing is.
It'd be really cool to find a model 1903 that's still chambered in a 3003 with the rod
Yeah.
stop bayonet.
That
So-
Singer was $80,000.
Yeah. I think there's one that went for like 200,000 or something like that.
That's like an auction price, so I guess people are still bidding on it, man. But $80,500, man.
Yeah. You
No,
guys got any money I could, have to buy $80,000?
Better start selling that ass.
Yeah.
Throw your cars, bike to work.
Sell my house for a pistol.
Dude, what the heck?
Guys,
So-
take
oh,
out another mortgage.
Also, huh?
What was
What'd you
that?
say?
I just said take out another mortgage for a pistol.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm sure
That's the most American thing ever.
I'm sure the bank would be cool with that. Hell yeah, brother.
Oh, he's holding the magazine backwards too.
Yeah. Oh wait, I gotta do it like this.
Yeah,
Trying to take together.
Yeah. Like it's an ammo belt. AR. Nice.
I think that first dude was the one that started it, and then all these people are just copying him.
Yeah. Dude, these are great. Well, listen, y'all. We've been on for about an hour and 19 minutes. Is there anything else? Anything else you want to talk about? Any other people you want to shout out before we wrap up? Anything else?
nothing's on the top of my head, but feel free to ask more questions if you got any.
Yeah, I got questions. Is okay. I have a couple pretty good ones that will be a good way to kind of wrap it up. If you had to teach a class on the steel challenge, and you only had 5 minutes to teach it, what would be the main points? Like, what would the main message be?
So in Steel Challenge, the draw matters a lot more than in USPSA. So for reference, in Steel Challenge, since you're shooting a string that is 5 shots, your total string time would be like 2.5, 3 seconds. Of that, like a second of it is the draw, and it's a surrender draw. So I would probably put some serious time into that with them. And the next biggest chunk of time in Steel Challenge is transitions. So those would be the two things I would hit if I could make it to 2. Probably wouldn't make it to 2. Probably would just be the draw. Tips to get the draw knocked down a bit quicker. So
That's good. Weirdest or funniest thing that's ever happened to you at like before competition, during competition,
Oh,
after?
weirdest or funniest? I mean, I've done some pretty goofy stuff in matches. Here's I think one of my only FTSAs I've ever gotten, which is a failure to shoot at. Like you forget a target, you get penalized heavy for it. I was in like a 3-stage local match. I'd made a bet with a guy. Uh, I hated wearing shorts, and he hated wearing pants. So the bet was I'd have to wear short shorts for my next major match if I lost, and I
Nice.
FTSA'd a target. That was pretty funny. So the short shorts came out. Yeah, done things like throw mags. I just face planted for the first time. I'd never fallen on a stage, but I did that last month at Dragon's Cup.
Dang.
That was pretty good.
It sucks.
I got third on the stage somehow. That was pretty cool. I expected to be pretty low on that stage, but I shot clean on the steel, so it made up for the face plants.
Hypothetical question: if you had to give up, or if you could only keep one gun from your collection, which one would it be?
It'd have to be the open gun, because without it, I can't compete. Can't compete in open division, so it have to be that one.
It's interesting, yeah.
Well, actually, it might be. I'd probably keep my carry gun because I could shoot that in open division too. It's got a comp on it. So.
What's your carry?
I carry another MPA pistol. It looks different than the last one though. But
Okay, I'm trying to.
I carry their ES9 flush fit, but they're not making that one anymore. At least not currently. They might bring it back up again later, but they're having a hard enough time keeping up with some of their other products. That one wasn't selling as hot, so.
No.
But basically, once they stopped producing that one for a while and started producing other ones, I had them like retrofit it, so now it looks more like their IDPA V2.
And one more time, what was your social media handle again?
Greg competes.
Gotcha. Okay. Just gonna pull that up real quick.
So that's what I'm carrying.
Nice.
Oh, nice, dude.
That looks pretty heavy.
It's surprisingly not, because it's not.
Mhm.
It's basically the IDPA V2 I have at home, so it's framed because it's built off the flush fit. Their actual IDPA V2 uses a steel frame, I believe, so that adds some more weight. But
You never thought about carrying that handgun that looks like a Mac?
oh, their Defender?
Yeah.
I don't have one of those yet. I keep telling myself I'm gonna have to get one,
Yeah.
just for crafts and giggles. But I haven't
Yeah,
really-
it looks like they're fun to shoot.
yeah, I don't know. I haven't ever shot one. So.
Dang. Yeah, check out Greg Competes on Instagram, man. I'll share a quick. Is it cool if I share a quick clip from your social media?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, cool. It looks good, man.
Stand by.
Dang, man.
Yeah,
That was fast.
looks so clean, man. Yeah. Would you say that's one of your best performances?
They're pretty average.
That particular stage, I had a few more makeups than I would have liked to come down the right side. Probably one of my best stages of my career is up from where you are. And it would be go back down a little bit. The one just to the left of that POV. Yep, that. That one. This was at Dragon's Cup.
Dude.
Damn, man.
If you're finished, unload, show clear. If
All right.
clear, hammer down, holster.
Dude, that was great.
Beast, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I guess that's what over 2,000 rounds a month gets you.
It sure helps. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you so when you go to the range, do you have like a place where you could actually run drills like that, or
Yeah. So I'm very blessed. I live like 15 minutes from my parents' place, and they've got a lot of acreage, and we have a friend at church who has a dozer, and so he like dug into the side of the valley, and so I've got like a 3 berm thing that's like
Mhm.
50 by 50-ish that I can set up and play.
Nice.
heck yeah.
A lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be awesome to be able to have, you
I
know.
don't set up a lot of stages very often though. It's kind of like trying to keep everything kind of 15 rounds or less per iteration, so I can get more reps in.
Oh, heck yeah.
Set up stuff, or I don't know that there's any like set drill that I'll like go back to super often. Some of the Ben Stoker ones maybe like accelerator,
Yeah.
but most of the time it's like, okay, well, I really need to work on transitions, specifically transitions on far partials, and so I just set up something, shoot enough matches. I kind of always have an idea of where I need to work, so I just
Yeah.
practices that way and go from
Heck
there.
yeah, man. Yeah, I obviously I can't do it right now. But one day my dream is to be able to just buy like a couple acres, just straight land, and do that and just set up like a 3 berm type deal and just have a little range, you know.
You need at least 10 acres in Maryland.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just have to find a different state then.
I don't know if it would be in Maryland, that's the thing. Pennsylvania or Virginia, one of the two.
Mhm.
What was one of the what was like one of the hardest skills that you had to develop, or one of the hardest lessons to learn, or
Consistency always seems to prove to be the most difficult element. Like uh, transitions aren't necessarily difficult, but doing them right every single time is difficult. So it's just, and I'm still working on that. It's like that's still what separates me from the guys that are winning the nationals is the consistency. So I'm gonna put it as still learning it and hardest because yeah. So
So
how did you? Yeah, go ahead.
oh no, you go ahead. So how many times do you do like a routine during like the day or at night to where you practice draws and practice dry fire? Is it just a lot of time now at this point? Is it mainly just range time?
it's still mainly dry fire. I still dry fire a lot more than I live fire, even though I'm doing 2,000 rounds a month. I'm doing easily triple that in dry fire, and it's it's yet again it's just attacking whatever I'm weak at this time, and yeah. So just recently, it's been very transition focused. So a lot of just setting up different random arrays of targets and changing it up and making sure my eyes are getting to a little spot in the alpha sooner.
Yeah.
Um,
So what's your routine for like dry fire?
uh, I try to make sure I do at least 15 minutes a day, but ultimately I don't really care about how long I go per se. Like it's not like I set a 15-minute timer and I'm done when it rings.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are other like training goals I'm after. But basically, I go to work all day, come back and dry fire, and usually what ends up stopping me from dry firing is like you get to a point where I just can't grip the gun as hard as I need to anymore because I'm still trying to grip the gun like I'm shooting live fire.
Yeah,
So eventually the forearms are just fried, and I got to put the gun down for the day. But
I gotcha. So are you doing like single shot reholster, or are you just like you drawing, going to different targets, and then reholstering? Like, how are you working that?
it's multiple target arrays and sometimes multiple positions. Like I might do uh, I might one night might just be draw, shoot at 6 different targets, load, shoot at 6 different targets, holster, repeat.
Mhm.
One night might be a 3 position thing. At least once a week, I'll set up big stages and I'll just make them super complex and try to basically work the like
Yeah.
mental part of it of like remembering all those stages and remembering to be visually disciplined for every target of like a 70 round stage or something.
Mhm.
Even though if we don't see those in the match, but uh, just yeah,
Yeah, I gotcha.
I don't do a lot of just draw one shot. Draw one shot. That's pretty rare, unless I'm like learning a new holster.
Okay,
Like if I just put a new holster on my belt, I'll do that for a while.
I gotcha. Do you have like a uh? I think they have them. Do you have something for like a trigger reset for
Nope.
dry fire? You just draw,
Yep.
just basically just okay.
I'm just raw dogging that thing, man.
Oh yeah, man, that's my man. Raw dogging's the best, man.
Okay.
Dang, man. All right. Well, look, we don't want to take up too much of your time, but I just want to say, man, we really appreciate you coming and spending your Saturday evening and hanging
Yes.
out with us and talking.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, go check out Greg. Greg competes on Instagram. Also,
Lost him.
Also, thank you for watching us. Make sure to check out our sponsors, that is Goliath Defense and Cocked Firearms for 10% off site wide. Thank you
use
for
2AB promo code.
use 2AB promo code. Thank you for tuning in and spending your Saturday watching us. And like Josh said, Greg, thank you for joining us. This
Masterpiece
Saturday.
Arms. Don't forget to check out masterpiecearms.com.
Yep, Masterpiece Arms. You can pick up where you left off, Josh. You had popped off right in the middle of that. So
Yeah, it's now is right around the time that Rumble starts acting up with the live
Yeah.
feed. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
but yeah, anything else you want to say? Any more shout outs? Greg, the floor is yours.
Just thank you guys for having me on, and
Yeah.
Anytime you want to come back on, let us know, man.
will do.
Yeah, man.
Yep, we got a lot of slots opened up, so whenever. But thank you guys for watching. We will catch you guys next Friday. It might be a little different. I'm going to be in Wisconsin, but it'll still be great. And we're looking forward to seeing y'all. But thanks again, y'all.
Wisconsin.
Yes, sir. All righty. Thanks again, Greg. God bless y'all. Okay, bye.
In Kansas.
Pick me up some cheese.